If the Miami Hurricanes win the Pop Tarts Bowl tomorrow and pick up their 11th victory, would you call that a successful season?
You are Locked On Canes, your daily podcast on the Miami Hurricanes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I hope you all ate your Pop-Tarts this morning. I am Alex Donno, University of Miami alumnus, co-host of Locked On ACC, and writer for Canes County at Rivals. And thank you so much to the everydayers for making Locked On Canes your first listen and your first watch today. We're available free wherever you get your podcasts. We're free on YouTube. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The NFL playoffs are almost here, but it's not too late to get in on the regular season action with FanDuel, because right now, new customers can finish the season strong with $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. We'll talk about why Cam Ward opted in and will be playing in the Pop Tarts Bowl on Saturday in Orlando. We'll talk about what's at stake in the game coming up. We'll also have a couple of transfer notes, because a player that Miami may be interested in is basically being held hostage by the Wisconsin Badgers. And at some point, something's got to give there. But if I'm going to get a good, honest answer on whether or not this was a successful season, who better to get an answer from than the man we call the truth teller, who's with us for a second time this week, Bruce Warner. If Miami gets that dub tomorrow, would you call 11 wins, something Miami hasn't done since 2003, would you call that a successful season?
Well, you have to. 11 wins is 11 wins, no matter how you shake it. But then the flip side of it is, what happens if we lose tomorrow? Are you going to be, we still won 10 games? I'm going to say if we lose tomorrow, which means we lost 3 out of the last 4 games, not a successful season. Not with the team we had, not being 9-0 and then blowing a 21-0 lead. No, I'm not going to be happy at all. I'm going to be happy about 11 wins, but still not thrilled. Because who knows if we're ever going to have a shot at something like this with Cam Ward, who's probably going to be the first pick in the draft.
Yeah. Now, defining success in this case, it's difficult for me, because I don't want anyone to come away thinking, oh, Donno and Bruce were satisfied with this year. Like, I've been a Miami fan since the 1980s. Like, the only thing that could really satisfy me is a national championship. So I'm not saying I'm satisfied by it. And this is definitely a gray area, Bruce, whether you consider it a successful season or not. And I agree with you. Winning the game tomorrow would be, the whipped cream on top of the Pop-Tart if Miami, or the cherry on top of the Pop-Tart.
Pop-Tarts. I've never even bought Pop-Tarts.
They're pretty good. Pop-Tarts are good, man. Telling you, pop them in the toaster. But here's the thing. Like, I understand that I wouldn't call this a great season. I wouldn't call this a season that satisfies any of us, because at the end of the day, you didn't reach the ACC championship game, which was an important goal. And you didn't reach the college football playoff, which would have been great in the 12-team expansion. But at the same time, like, let's not pretend the team didn't do anything of value this year. You won the Florida Cup. You beat Florida and Florida State in the same year for the first time in a long time. You don't play.
And USF, too, for that matter.
And USF, for that matter. I mean, listen, I know the defense let us down on a lot of
that's
occasions.
my point. I'm going to interrupt you, because that's what I said. That's the asterisk. That's the condition. My comment is, you win 10 or 11, despite this defense. Now we know how bad they were.
Yeah, so right.
Now we're week to week. The season's over, and you look back and I go, oh my, we won 10 or maybe 11 games with this defense? Wow, that's pretty damn good. That's successful. I look at it that way. That's the way you have to look at it. Because from the Florida game, they got worse. All the way down the line, they got worse. We could have lost multiple games this season. So when you look at it, the offense was incredible. We all loved when offense was on the field, but the defense really was a mess. So I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I'd like to see us win. I'd like to see Mario have the ability to take a team that's not full strength. Iowa State is full strength.
All opted in on Iowa State.
If we win this game tomorrow, it'll tell me something. But if we lose this game tomorrow, especially if we get smoked, then I'm going to be very worried about what's going on in the future, because, listen, the jury's still out for him. I don't care if you want to argue with me or not. I love Mario as a person, but is he really going to turn this around? And it starts with the defense.
Right.
I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Our offense is, who's the receivers tomorrow?
Well, so we have a suspicion. We won't know for sure until Saturday, but we're not expecting Xavier Restrepo. Maybe we'll be pleasantly surprised and he plays. And there's been a lot of rumors that Sam Brown is also going to opt out. Of course, Isaiah Horton he's in Alabama now, so he's not going to play.
Yeah, but did Restrepo show up? I saw a video yesterday of the team coming off the bus and partying, whatever. I didn't see him in the video at all.
A lot of people were saying that they didn't. So yeah, he
I don't think
probably.
he's playing.
Yeah, he probably won't play. Now here's some good news though. Elijah Arroyo has seemingly opted in because he was posting promotional content for the game yesterday about how he wants to be the MVP of it. So Elijah Arroyo is going to play. Bruce Damian Martinez is going to play.
Right, I saw him
Ward
in the video.
play.
Yeah, he was there. Yeah.
Yeah, so listen, Miami should still be able to have enough offensive firepower, even without some of your most important receivers. I mean, if we are of the belief that Cam Ward is the best quarterback in college football and can elevate the talent around him, I'm excited to see what Ward can do. You'd still have Arroyo out there, but seeing guys like Ray Joseph, I mean, think about how important of an audition this is for Ray, right? Because Ray might be the Restrepo replacement next year. Yeah, Miami's been looking at some other slot receivers like Casey Concepcion, but this is an important audition for Ray Joseph. Josiah Trader, Nyquar, Chance Robinson. I mean, how important of an audition is it for these young receivers? Hopefully we see Shamar Kirk, our guy, who gets some playing time tomorrow. So I still believe Cam Ward can elevate the talent around him, even if 3 of his top receivers are not available tomorrow.
Right. Well, if these guys are open, he's going to get them the ball. I'm actually excited about watching those guys. We've seen them in practice, but we don't see them in the field that much. So, yeah, I'm excited about it. We've been bragging about Shamar Kirk for the last 10 months since we were there, or 9 months, whatever it's been.
Right.
So, look, I'm excited about watching the game. Do I want them to win? Of course I do.
Yeah, and anybody who says otherwise is lying, by the way, because I know sometimes we go into these bowl games and people are like, oh, I don't even care if we win. Who cares? And then like last year, Bruce, a lot of people, I don't care. Jakari Brown's starting. I don't care if we win the Pinstripe Bowl. And then how angry were all of us after we lost the game? It's like we
got smoked too. We didn't play well at all.
Yeah. And think about it. This is the last time we're going to see Hurricanes football for what, 9 months, 8 months, going back to early September of next year. Like, this is going to be the last impression they get to make on us for 3/4 of a year. I want to go out and win the game. This is important to me.
Yeah, that part is, but we'll see them in spring practice. We'll be down there again. We'll be able to, see these guys, what they're doing and who's playing, who's not playing. I think I saw Simeon Barrow in the video yesterday. So
I think he's going to play. Yeah.
He's going to play. Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch our defense dominate tomorrow. Wouldn't that be funny if they dominate?
And I will say this, okay? Because the best that Miami's defense looked all year was the opening game when they had all that extra time to prepare for Florida. They've had a month to prepare for Iowa State. And what you see on film is what you get because all their players opted in. So you know what to expect from Rocco Becht, who's a very good quarterback, and their receivers and playmakers. So I wonder if maybe they're just not good at adapting like from week to week and adapting within games. But if you give them a month to prepare for an opponent, maybe we'll see a good, this might be wishful thinking on my part, but maybe we'll see a better version of Miami's defense tomorrow.
Speaking of wishful thinking, how about this? Ray takes it to the house on a punt return. Wouldn't that be so? Because he didn't do anything all year long.
Well, and I wonder, Chris Johnson is gone, so I wonder who's going to be returning the kicks. Maybe somebody like Nyquar. Maybe he. Wouldn't it be amazing if somebody takes a kick return to the house because our kick return game didn't provide anything this year, unfortunately.
Right, we did nothing on the punt or kickoff. Nothing. I don't even know if we crossed the 50 on anything. I don't think we did.
I don't think so either.
Beside the point, I'm excited about the game. I want to win. You never want to lose ever.
No.
It would be nice to win with the young kids. That would really be good.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I'm pretty sure, and I don't know, but I'm expecting Emory Williams to get in the game because I want to see what he can do, especially with the receivers that he runs with during the offseason and during the season in practice. Those are his guys.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk more about the Pop Tart Bowl when we come back. And I also want to mention, because everyone is wondering, what's going on with a certain cornerback from Wisconsin who, may end up being a Miami target if he's allowed to enter the transfer portal. You guys want to keep it locked right here. We got the truth teller with us. We're only getting started on this brand new episode of Locked On Canes. Did Rocket Money help you find any subscriptions you forgot about or that you were paying for twice? That's definitely happened to me. At this day and age, we have so many different subscriptions. I had a few of those I didn't even realize I was still paying for, and Rocket Money made it so easy to track them all down. It's like having a personal assistant for your finances. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel unwanted subscriptions, also monitors your spending and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. It brings everything together in one place, whether it's subscriptions, your spending habits, or even the goals you want to hit this year. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's premium features. For me, one of the best features is the subscription tracker. I use it to cancel services I wasn't using anymore. I've already saved a ton. Plus, with their goals feature, I've been able to automatically set aside money for my future. No more stressing about budgeting every month. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/lockedon today. That's rocketmoney.com/lockedon. rocketmoney.com/lockedon. Thank you so much for making this episode of Locked On Canes your first listen and your first watch today. For your next listen, make sure you check out Locked On ACC. Kenton Gibbs from Locked On Wolfpack and I take you around the conference, whether it be the disrespect the ACC gets from ESPN, whether it be Bill Belichick at North Carolina, Jim Larinaga retiring. We bring it all to you on Locked On ACC. We got the truth teller, Bruce Warner, with us. So, Bruce, it's very frustrating how you see thousands of players across the country come and go, hit the transfer portal, and a South Florida native, Xavier Lucas, who spent 1 year at Wisconsin, would be a rumored transfer portal target for Miami, which would make sense because he'd be coming back home, right?
It's not a rumor. Yeah, he wants back.
Yeah.
I don't. Do you understand the reasoning why, or can they really keep him there? How can they?
They are making. I think because they can't legally keep him there. Wisconsin. So he had a sensational freshman season. This is like one of the building blocks of Wisconsin's football team.
Right.
And he wants to leave. Like my understanding, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but my understanding is he wants to leave Wisconsin. They don't want to give him up. So it sounds like they're trying to make it so difficult for him to hit the portal that maybe they convince him to stay, but he wants to leave. And I've seen people throwing out like Wisconsin people like, oh, well, Miami's probably tampering and that's why Wisconsin's blocking it. I haven't heard anything that would support that, Bruce. I mean, if he's the one initiating contact and he wants to leave the place where he's at, Wisconsin has no legal recourse to block him from doing that. And eventually, if this keeps going, I mean, his representation's going to get involved. Maybe he's lawyered up. Maybe he should call Bruce Warner to lawyer up for this situation. You probably helped him out.
We didn't stop Horton from leaving. And, we all kind of guessed that maybe Alabama's tampering.
For sure.
But the bottom line is, what's the reality? Reality is the kid wants to leave. The rumor is that we were tampering, but we don't know if that's true. Neither does.
I don't think it's true. I mean, that's probably something.
It doesn't matter. The kid wants out.
But that was a rumor started by Wisconsin fans because they're just assuming, well, I'm sure Miami's doing something dirty. And, Bruce, they're probably angry that we gave them Tyler Van Dyke.
Yeah, I'm sure they're upset with that. Yeah, I'm sure. But I think it'll be settled this week. He can't be sitting around like that. No. They can't stop him either. Someone will get involved. A lawyer will get involved, and that'll be the end of it. Because Wisconsin could probably get sued.
Sure, absolutely.
They don't want that because they're not going to win.
Yeah, because they're like customarily, you're within 48 hours you have to process the paperwork when someone's filled it out. It's been like 5 days now, and they still haven't done it.
Somebody from his group is going to have to contact them and threaten them. That's all, because they're not allowed. Okay, they're just not allowed. So they don't do the paperwork. They're going to get in real trouble. They don't need any more punishment.
Absolutely.
They're an average team anyway. Who cares about Wisconsin?
Having to take on Tyler Van Dyke was punishment enough. Like they
they didn't have to. They signed him.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Nobody put a gun to their head. You want the king of interceptions? Knock yourself.
So, Bruce, I put out the question to my Locked On Canes insiders. And by the way, if you guys want to try it out free for 14 days, you get text messages directly from my phone to yours and vice versa. Click the link in the show description below, become a Locked On Canes insider. So I threw out the question that if Miami gets the Pop Tart Bowl win, which would be 11 dubs this year, they haven't won 11 games in a season since 2003. Would you consider that a successful season? I was expecting a lot of no's just because, again, like, important goals. ACC championship game fell short of that. College football playoff fell short of that. Like, I'm not going to call this a great season. I would call it a successful season. And most people actually said yes. There were a few no's from the 3-2-1. Of course, I would. Better than the past 20 plus years. Yes, from the 3-0-4, because I still look at the big picture. So there is some disappointment because I was hoping the team would have gone farther. He says this season would need to be rated on a scale from the 6, 7, 8. All things considered, the season was respectable, 8 out of 10, in my opinion. Some person pointed out that, because Bruce, we both know the expectations changed during the year. Like, well, once we realize, oh my God, Cam Ward is this good, the expectations changed, right? So if you go preseason, most of us would have signed up for 10 wins, and you beat Florida, you beat Florida State, which we thought would be a tough game, and you beat Louisville. Most of us would have signed up for that, right?
Yeah.
So
absolutely,
preseason,
because I didn't consider these teams. I thought we killed Georgia Tech because we know them from last year.
Yeah. So the expectations changed throughout the year. Preseason, most of us would have signed up for 10 wins with a chance at 11, but you start 9-0, the expectations change.
Right. But my asterisk, I think, is the critical point.
Oh, yeah.
The asterisk is, who knew who knew this defense was this bad? We thought they were incredible. We thought the front four was incredible. They destroyed the Gators. Now the Gators are all yapping now because they turned their season around, but we still killed them. We destroyed them. There's nothing to talk about, Barry Burke. Nothing. I don't want to hear it.
Well, and also Gator fans are like trying to say that opening game didn't count because, well, Y'all didn't face DJ Lagway. Well, DJ Lagway came on and he threw an interception to Jaden Harris, who was literally had fallen over on his back, and DJ Lagway threw an interception to him. So I mean,
look, they did turn it around. You have to give them credit.
Sure,
you have to. We kind of did the opposite. We choked at the end, but again, I don't know if it's choking because, as I said all season long, and I still don't have the answer, but I think I know it now. I don't think it's so far-fetched for me to say the defense stunk. Not good, not didn't get improved, but when you look at the team, there was so much excitement. This was the most exciting year in 20 years. It really was. How many almost strokes and heart attacks did each one of us almost have, meaning you? But it was an exciting season, but the defense just let us down. And in the games that we almost lost, but we were with the referee calls, it was the defense. We scored 52 against Louisville. We were like hanging on, and the South Florida game was good, close for a while. Cal, oh my God, 35-10.
Yeah.
So there's no reason for that. That never happened in all the years that I've seen us play, except I did see us blow a game against Maryland and against Boston College back in '84. I remember those things, and it still sticks 40 years ago.
What about the '86 Fiesta Bowl? With Vinny?
Oh yeah, that and
by the way, you know what's funny?
Bowl against Ohio State.
Yeah, you know what's funny? A couple weeks ago, I don't know if you saw it. It was on Locked On ACC. We interviewed a really great guy, Jay Paterno, the son of Joe Paterno. He's an author, former coach, all that. And like before we started the show, we were off air, and like Jay, super nice guy, but Jay was like, "How about that '86 Fiesta Bowl?"
Yeah.
Because the Penn State connection. I was like, you had to bring that up.
That is that everybody said that when Miami beat Nebraska in the '83 national title game, they were the greatest team of all time. And in '86, I thought we were the greatest team of all time. Yeah. And then we choked against them. We destroyed them offensively.
Yeah. We did.
But it was all Testaverde. I'm shocked.
What do you have? Five interceptions, 6 interceptions, something like that? Yeah,
that's 5. Yeah, that was horrible. He was horrible. And to this day, I know that Alonzo wanted to rip his head off. he told us. He said, if I wasn't laying on the field in tears, I would have probably gone over there and knocked them out. So, those are memories that we have to deal with. We just have, when the year before they lost to Tennessee, 35-7 in a game we could have played for the national title. We were in the hunt for it. So anyway, look, I'm excited, but now we have to go forward, not backwards. Tomorrow is an important game because I want to see the young kids play. I want to see Cam for the last time, although he will be quarterbacking my team next year, the New York Giants, because I think they're going to pick him with the first pick in the draft.
I got to tell you, my son, who as his short life, he's 6 years old, as a Dolphin fan, he knows nothing but disappointment. My son is such a huge fan of Cam Ward. I have a feeling my kid's going to be a Giants fan next year, assuming they draft Ward. Like I'm loyal to the local teams. I've stuck with the Dolphins for 40 years. Well, what's a few more? But I think my son's going to become a Giants fan because he likes Cam Ward that much.
Nothing wrong with that,
Yeah.
And that's my home team. And I, I'm friendly with Caesar, obviously, but Caesar goes to the games. He stands on the sideline. So if now he's quarterbacking the Giants, you better believe I'm going to fly up there and go with him to watch the Giants play.
I'll go with you.
Not in the winter. Not in the winter.
Right. September only.
Going up there in the winter. No way.
Well,
so why did Cam opt in? You got it up here.
Well, speaking of that, we'll talk about that on the other side. And I think it says a lot about his character. And it also says a lot about his situation. So you want to keep it locked right here. We got the truth teller with us. We're not done yet on this brand new episode of Locked On Canes. We've had an awesome year on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. And yet you're looking at the numbers on that. I hope you guys already locked in the over, because when Larry Bluestein and I talked about it a couple of days ago, we were looking at what was 55.5 at the time. Both of these teams can score. Iowa State can score. Obviously, Miami can score. So we looked at over under 55.5 is very low. I guess a lot of you have been pounding that over because the number went up to 57. The over under is now 57. Hurricanes are 3.5-point favorites against Iowa State. And the NFL playoffs are almost here. And it's not too late to get in on the regular season action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now, new customers can finish the season strong with $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. FanDuel has so many ways to pick up a dub. I love betting on which players will score a touchdown, how many points each team will score. It's thrilling. You can get so many of these prop bets on FanDuel, not just betting on who's going to win the game, but who's going to step up, how they're going to win, how many points they're going to score. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. That's FanDuel.com for your chance at $250 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Thank you so much for making this episode of Locked On Canes your first listen and your first watch today. So Mario Cristobal had a press conference this morning up in Orlando, Bruce, and he was asked about Cam Ward playing in the bowl game. And by the way, people still ask me if he's really going to play. Ward has confirmed it 1,000 times. Yeah. Cristobal he's going to play. Like there's nothing nefarious going on here.
The team yesterday. He was he went to Universal Studio. Yeah. He's playing.
No, and so this is what Cristobal said. He said, I think modern day conventional wisdom sometimes clashes with principles and values of what is right, he said.
Yes.
Nowadays, we are compensated at all levels to do a job, and you must finish the job. Cam's DNA, his upbringing, is the right kind of stuff. Because, Bruce, all throughout this process, the last few weeks, when it's become clear that Ward was going to opt in and play, what I kept hearing from Ward is he wants to finish the job that he started. Like he doesn't believe in cutting his Miami tenure short. They've got another game to play, means he's got another game to play. Correct. And I'll also add in this environmental factor that plays into it, because Ward doesn't have an agent yet. I'm sure he's going to get one at some point before the NFL draft, but he doesn't have an agent right now. And so my understanding, every player on the team who does have an agent is telling them don't play, advising them, because they can't force them, but they're advising guys not to play in the bowl game. Some of them are going to play anyway, despite that. But Ward doesn't even have an agent who would be, because if he had one, Bruce, you're going to be the #1 pick of the draft. If he had an agent, they would be begging him not to play in the Pop Tart Bowl. But he's a leader on this football team. He looks at himself as part of University of Miami football until he's off to the NFL. Like he wants to finish the job he started here, and I respect it so much.
Yeah, well, the agents are looking out for their best interest, not necessarily the kids. Now, they could say that it's in your best interest not to play because you might get hurt. That's great advice, except one problem with that. If he gets hurt, there goes your portion of your fee on the contract. Now, I mean, if he gets hurt, that's a big problem. If he has a bad game, I still think he's going first to the Giants.
Yeah.
My opinion is I haven't really seen Sanders play that much. The Giants are a very conservative organization. I don't think they want anything to do with the Sanders circus. I also believe that Dion wants his son going to the Raiders, and he's gonna do whatever he can behind the scenes to orchestrate that. And so I think the safe pick and probably the better pick is Cam Ward because of all the things you just said. He's all about success. He's all about football. He's all about the team. It's not about him. Now, maybe it is behind the scenes, but he kept on saying, I don't care if I don't win the Heisman. Listen, who won the Heisman?
Travis Hunter.
All right. Is he going to be the first pick in the draft? The Giants aren't taking him. No. There's not a way in the world they're taking him. They need Cam Ward because they need to get the ball to their first round pick from last year.
Yeah,
that's what they need, and they need a leader. They blew it with Daniel Jones. That was a horrible pick.
By the way, I saw that coming from a mile away. As soon as they made that pick, I'm like, that guy's going to be a bust there. I'm sorry.
And they had the 7th pick or the 8th pick and the 15th pick that year. And instead of waiting to the 15th pick, which is when he still would have been there, they took him with the 7th or the 8th pick. But that's the Giants, and so they need a lot. But that has to start with a quarterback. Because you need a quarterback. Look how incredible Kansas City is with Mahomes. Look how incredible Buffalo is with their quarterback. And so, you have to have a leader. Look at us. 20 years of not having a great quarterback. We get Cam Ward and bang. We're 10 wins, maybe 11 wins. Most of those had to do with him and him alone. He was so great.
So I've got Miami winning and probably covering the 3.5-point spread tomorrow. Now, if Cam Ward wasn't playing, I'd probably feel differently about it because Iowa State, all their guys are playing. It's a formidable opponent, but I think Miami's going to have enough firepower to win. What do you think, Bruce?
I'm worried about the fact that Iowa State didn't have anybody opt out. That scares me.
But there's also a reason, and they don't have any first-round draft picks on that team either. It's a reason why
they play well as a team, although they finished horrible. They got smoked. In the last game, but who beat them? Arizona State, right? Yeah. So I think that concerns me about Miami. Their team has all their players. They know they're familiar with each other. Miami could be a mix and match. I don't know who's not playing yet. Offensively, we should be okay, but again, the Restrepo not being on the field's got to hurt. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if we don't win this game. I'm just being honest. I want to win. I think we could win. But I haven't really seen Iowa State play. I know nothing about them. I really don't ever watch them. I don't care about them. But I think I am worried about it. I am.
Well, they don't.
I don't even have a prediction to tell you.
They don't rush the passer by design. They usually rush 3 and drop 8 into coverage. So Ward is going to have a lot of time to throw it. Now, if Tyler Van Dyke was starting this game, you'd probably have a lot of interceptions with 3 deep safeties. Ward is going to pick his spots.
All right, so then let's look at it this way with the receivers. Let's run the ball down their throat.
And we should be able to. We should be able to run the ball down
and I expect Lyle to get in there a lot.
Oh, yeah.
A lot. And I think that if we see Damian Martinez carry the ball more than a dozen times, he might be staying. Because if he's leaving, he may carry the ball 4 or 5 times and say, all right, I played. I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. I can't get hurt. But if he plays a lot, he may stay. I don't know what his draft status is right now.
I gotta catch a bright line up to O-Town to catch the Pop Tart Bowl. I appreciate Bruce Warner, the Truth Teller. Appreciate all of you guys. Smash that like button and subscribe. We will talk to you guys again next time on another episode of Locked On Canes. We are part of the awesome Locked On Podcast Network.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year from your team every day.